We begin now at the top of Daf Nun Beis and Beis and Mesaches Berachos. This is Berachos Daf 52b. The Gemara was discussing machlokas between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel, whether a person washes his hands before he takes the cup of wine, or whether he takes the cup of wine first, then he washes his hands before he starts the meal. So in the course of this discussion, we bring a Mishnah that discusses how the outside of this cup that you're using might become tamei. Basically, if tamei liquid touches the outside of the kli, the outside is tamei, not the inside. So the Mishnah here, right in the middle of the Mishnah, tocho va'ogno va'azno v'yadav tahorin. You have the inside and the brim and the handles of this kli; they are all tahor. Only the outside of the kli is tamei if it touches tamei liquid. Nitma tocho. The Mishnah continues that if the inside of the kli touches the tamei liquid, nitma kulo, then in fact the entire thing becomes tamei. Why is it that only the outside becomes tamei in one scenario, the inside in the other? So Rashi explains, Tikevon de tumah zu d'rabbanan, because since this entire tumah of touching tamei liquids, it's all d'rabbanan we're talking about. This is not tumah d'oraisa. Avdu ba hekera delayed d'midrabbanan. They made this as a heker, as a recognition that this whole thing is d'rabbanan. Kiechi de lo lisraf ala truma v'kachim v'kiluba. In order that you don't end up burning truma and kachim, you don't end up thinking that this tumah is tumah d'oraisa. So in short, though, basically you have the basic idea here is that the outside of this cup could potentially be tamei. So now the Gemara explains what's the machlokas Beis Shammai Beis Hillel. B'mai kamiflagi, what are they arguing about? Beis Shammai savri asur l'shtamish b'kli shenitma achora b'mashkin. Beis Shammai hold that there's a general prohibition to use a kli or a cup which the outside of it is tamei. Gezerah misham nitzotzos, because we have a gezerah that if the outside of this kli is tamei, then if it gets wet a little bit, let's say from liquid on the inside, that tumah can then transmit to your hands, and you'll be eating with tamei hands. Therefore, according to Beis Shammai, since it's prohibited to use such a cup, there's no concern that your hands will become tamei from such a cup, because you're not allowed to use such a cup. The only concern is the other direction. The concern is that if your hands are tamei, they might be metamei the cup. So therefore, according to Beis Shammai, you wash your hands before you mix your wine. Beis Hillel hold mutar l'shtamish b'kli shenidma achorav b'mashkin. They say that there's no problem using a kli which is tamei on the outside. Amri nitzotzas lo shchichi. We say that they say that little amounts of droplets of liquid, they're not common that they get on the outside. It's uncommon that it's going to make your hands tamei. Now, therefore, since it is true that the cup itself might be tamei, you should not wash your hands beforehand, because then if you wash your hands beforehand, then liquid will get on the outside of the cup, very likely, and what's going to happen is your hands will become tamei because of the cup. Davar acher, then Beis Hillel gives an additional reason, take of l'natilas yadayim seuda. It's best to wash right before the actual meal, so better to wash before the meal rather than before mixing your cup of wine. So basically that ends up being the machlokas Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. They argue about whether or not you can use such a tamei cup in the first place, and that is therefore the basis of the argument of whether you should wash natilas yadayim before the wine or just before the meal and after the wine. My davar acher, the Gemara asks, why does Beis Hillel need a second reason that immediately before the meal you should wash natilas yadayim? Hachi kamar lu Beis Hillel Beis Shammai. This is what Beis Hillel is saying to Beis Shammai. Lididchu de'amrisu aser l'shtamish b'kli shachorav tamein de gazrina mishum nitzosas. According to you, that you hold there's a problem anyways to use a kli which the outside of the kli is tamei, because we have a gezerah, maybe the droplets will get on the outside. So therefore, according to you, you have this idea, this reason why a person does not need to be concerned with becoming tamei from the kli. But afilu hachi adifa, but still it's better to do it our way. It's better to wash before the meal, to take it from natilas yadayim seuda, because immediately before natilas yadayim should be your seuda. Continuing now the two dots, Beis Shammai mekaneach v'chulu. This was a machlokas between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel regarding when a person dries his hands during the meal, wipes his hands on a napkin. Where should he place the napkin? Should he place the napkin on the table itself, or should he place the napkin on a pillow that's adjacent to the table? So we have here a brisa that expands upon this machlokas. Tanar Rabbanan, we learned in a brisa. Beis Shammai Beis Shammai say mekaneach yadav v'mapa. You wipe your hands with this napkin. Umeinicha al shulchan. You place it on the table itself. She'imata omer al hakeses, because if you place the napkin on the pillow that's off to the side, gezerah shemiyitmu mashkin shebemapa machmas hakeses. Maybe we have a following decree. Maybe there will be liquid on this napkin. It will be wet, and it will therefore become tamei, because maybe the keses, this pillow is tamei. V'yachzru v'yatamas yadayim. Then in turn your hands will become tamei from the napkin. and therefore it's a concern that you should not put the napkin on top of the keses. It might become tummy. Gemara just asks as a side question, Vinitmi keses lamapa. Why aren't we just directly concerned that the pillow should be matame the napkin? Why do we need liquids? So the Gemara answers, in kli matame kli. A kli is not matame kli unless there is a liquid in between, as we mentioned on the previous summit. Vinitmi keses legavra gufe. Well, also the same question, similar question. Maybe the pillow should be matame the person directly. Ein kli matame adam. Again, the same idea. The kli is not matame a person. So that's Beis Shammai's opinion in terms of why a person should not put the napkin on the pillow. We're afraid the pillow will be matame the napkin, and that will be matame everything. Beis Hillel say ala keses. No, on the contrary, you should put the napkin on the pillow. Shema ta omer al hashulchan. If you put the napkin on the table, gezerah shemiyitmu mashkim shebemapa machmas hashulchan. We have a gezerah. Maybe the napkin will have liquid on it, and it will become tameh because of the table. V'yachzru v'yatamu esa ochlim, and then the food again on the table will become tameh. Again, the Gemara asks as a side question, v'latame shulchan la'ochlin shebesocho. Why not just have a concern if the table is tameh, that the table will directly make the food tameh? So the Gemara says, hacha b'shulchan sheni askinan. The concern of Beis Hillel is that you have a shulchan that has the status of a sheni. Ve'ein sheni osa shlishi b'chulin. As we said before, when you're talking about chulin, things that are not truma or kachim, a sheni does not make food into a shlishi when you're talking about chulin. Ela ayidei mashkin, unless you're conducting the tumah through mashkin, which is why we're specifically concerned about this wet napkin. So the Gemara again explains what is the machlokas. This is going to be very similar to the machlokas about washing before you have the cup of wine or after the cup of wine. But my kamiflagi, what is the machlokas? Beis Shammai sabri aser l'shtamish b'shulchan sheni. So Beis Shammai hold in general you're never allowed to use a shulchan, which is a sheni. So the concern of Beis Hillel that you're putting this whole concern over here that you're putting the napkin on a shulchan that's a sheni doesn't exist, because you're never allowed to use a shulchan sheni. Gezerah mishum ochlei truma. That's a gezerah because people who eat truma, remember, a shulchan sheni is not matami shlishi b'chulin, but truma is a problem, so it's a gezerah for those who eat truma. Beis Hillel sabri, Beis Hillel say they hold mutar l'shtamish b'shulchan sheni. It's no problem using a shulchan that's a sheni. Ochlei truma is reason him, because people who eat truma anyway are the reason. The kohanim who are eating truma are going to be very careful, and you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry for their sake. Davar acher, then Beis Hillel add another explanation of why it is that you're allowed to use a shulchan sheni. Ein netilas yadayim l'chulin min haTorah, because there's no netilas yadayim for chulin min haTorah, meaning washing hands in order to keep your hands tahor is only a dirabanan anyway. It's not a dindo raisa. Gemara explains what this means. My davar acher. What is this extra explanation? Hachi ka'amri lu Beis Hillel Beis Shammai. This is what Beis Hillel is saying to Beis Shammai. V'chi teimru ma'ishna gabe ochlin dechayshinon u'ma'ishna gabe yadayim delo chayshinon. Why are we concerned when it comes to food, but we're not concerned when it comes to hands? So they explain, afilu hachi ha'adifa. No, it's better this way. Te'ein netilas yadayim l'chulin min haTorah. There's no netilas yadayim on a doraisa level for chulin. Mutav sheyitmu yadayim. It's better that the hands should become tameh. To less lo ikr midoraisa, they have no ikr midoraisa. V'al yatamu ochlim, rather than food should become tameh, to is lo ikr midoraisa, that they have an ikr midoraisa. And Rashi here explains what Beis Hillel means. Afilu hachi ha'adifa explains as follows. This is better. Lachush shema'ira mikra. It makes more sense to be concerned that maybe the following will happen. Sheyishtamshu b'shulchan sheni. That maybe they'll use a shulchan which is a sheni, and therefore we're afraid to put the napkin on such a shulchan. V'lo yanichen al gabe shulchan. You shouldn't put the napkin on the shulchan. Rather put it on the pillow. Shelo titmas ha'ochlin machmas mashkin sheba. That the food on the table should not become tameh because of the liquids in the napkin. Milachush shelo titma machmas kesses. That's more of a concern than the concern that your hands will become tameh through the napkin that you put on the pillow. V'tachzor v'tatames yadayim. It's going to be matame the hands, and the hands will be matame stuff. In other words, what Beis Hillel is saying is, it makes more sense to be concerned of a direct tumah from the napkin, from the table to the napkin to the food, rather than from the pillow to the napkin to the hands, because in general, tumah on hands is not midoraisa. There's no ikr midoraisa. That's what he means over here, where he says, Ein netilas yadayim l'chulin min haTorah, mutav sheyitmu yadayim deles lo ikr midoraisa. Better that the hands become tummy. There's no idea of netilas yadayim midoraisa. There's no such thing as just your hands becoming tummy on a doraisa level. Therefore, we're not as concerned with the tumah being transmitted from the pillow to the napkin to the hands. We are more concerned with the tumah that's going to go from the shulchan, which is a sheni, to the food directly on the table. The Gemara now continues with two dots. Beis Shammai omer mechabden v'chulu. This was a machlokas between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel whether one should clear the table before washing mayim achronim or not. Beis Shammai said you should clear the table first of all the food, and Beis Hillel said no, first do the mayim achronim, then you can clear the table. What's the issue over here? The Gemara brings a brisa which expands on this issue. Taner Rabbanan, we learned in a brisa. Beis Shammai omer mechabden es habayis v'achar kach noten liyadayim. Beis Shammai hold that first you sweep up the house. In other words, you clear the table of all the food, and then you wash netilas yadayim. Why? She'imata omer notlin liyadayim tchila, that if you first wash your hands, nimtza atamafsed as ochlin, you're going to end up that you're going to ruin the food. In other words, you're not. There's a halacha here that you're not allowed to be ma'abed food. You can't destroy food. We're afraid the water from the mayim achronim will get on some of the bread and ruin it, and that would be prohibited. Avol netilas yadayim lebeis Shammai tchila lo svira lahu ma'tam mishum perurin. Basically, the Gemara here is saying there's a little bit of a textual issue over here, but basically the Gemara is saying Beis Shammai is concerned that if you bring out the water first, you're going to ruin the perurin, you're going to ruin these pieces of bread. Beis Hillel omer, but Beis Hillel say no. Im shamish talmud chachamu, if your shamish is a talmud chacham, notel perurin sheyesh bem kazayis, all the larger perurin which are kazayis or more will remove. Umeneach perurin shein bem kazayis, but you can leave the other crumbs. We're not concerned that those are going to become ruined. Messiah leila Rabbi Yochanan, and this supports Rabbi Yochanan's opinion. The Amar Rabbi Yochanan said perurin shein bem kazayis muter la'avdan biyad, that if you have perurin that are less than a kazayis, there's no problem if you're ma'abed them. There's no problem if they get ruined through the water. So it comes out that the machlokas Beis Shammai Beis Hillel seems to revolve around the issue of these pieces of bread that are larger than a kazayis. Beis Hillel says you don't need to be concerned because the shamish is a talmud chacham, he'll remove them. Whereas Beis Shammai seems to say you do need to be concerned, so you need to clear the whole table. And the Gemara explains a little further. But my kamifli, what's the machlokas? Beis Hillel savri aser lishtamish b'shamish am haaretz. Beis Hillel hold it's prohibited to use a shamish who is an am haaretz. You have to use a shamish who's a talmud chacham who knows what kind of pieces of bread to remove. Beis Shammai savri muter lishtamish b'shamish am haaretz. Beis Shammai said there's no problem using such a shamish, and therefore there is a concern about bread that's on the table, so the table needs to be cleared. Amar Rabbi Yossi bar Chanina Amar Rav Huna. Rabbi Yossi bar Chanina says in the name of Rav Huna, Bekulei Pirkan halacha ke Beis Hillel, and the entire parak, the halacha is like Beis Hillel, bar meha, the halacha ke Beis Shammai, except for this particular scenario, the halacha is like Beis Shammai. Rav Oshi Masni Yifcha, but Rav Oshi has the reverse of Vahanami halacha ke Beis Hillel, and he says that the halacha in this case as well is like Beis Hillel. Now here the Gemara is going to talk about this machlokas between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel regarding the order of the brachos. If you have 1 cup of wine at the end of Shabbos, so you have to make brachos on candle, on besamim, on the birchas hamazon itself, and of course the Havdalah bracha. So we quoted very briefly in the previous Amud a machlokas about what the machlokas is, and that's going to be quoted more in full over here. So Beis Shammai omrim neru mazon v'chulu, and here we start off with a little story. Rav Huna bar Yehuda ikla levei Rava. Rav Huna bar Yehuda went to the house of Rava, Chazi l'Rava debarach abesamim bereisha, and he saw that Rava made a bracha on the besamim first. So Amarle said to him, 1 second, Michli, let's see here. Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel, Amor lo pligi. If you look in our Mishnah, Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel aren't arguing at all. Everyone agrees that what comes first is the ner. The Tanya we learned in the Brisa, Beis Shammai omrim ner umazon besamim v'avdala. Ner comes first, and then it's mazon besam havdalah. Beis Hillel omrim ner ubesamim mazon v'avdalah. And Beis Hillel also agree that ner comes first. They just reverse the besamim and the mazon, and everyone agrees havdalah comes last. So what's going on over here? Why are you making a bracha on besamim first? Nobody says that. Ani Rava Basrei. So Rava answered after that, and he said, no. Zu divrei Rabbi Meir. That is the opinion of Rabbi Meir, and that's also, by the way, the opinion of our Mishnah. The machlokas, as we just quoted it, is only Rabbi Meir's opinion. Avo Rabbi Yehuda Omer, but Rabbi Yehuda says, and again, this was quoted on the previous summit, Rabbi Yehuda's opinion within Beis Shammai Beis Hillel. Avo Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Rabbi Yehuda says, Lo nechliku Beis Shammai Beis Hillel al hamazon shu betchila ve'al havdalah shi b'sof. According to Rabbi Yehuda, everybody agrees that Birchas Hamazon is said first, and the Bracha of Havdalah is said last. Again, if you have just 1 cup of wine at the end of Shabbos. The entire machlokas is about what comes first, Ma'or or Besamim. Beis Shammai omrim al ha'ma'or ve'achar kach Besamim. Beis Shammai say that Ma'or comes before Besamim, or Beis Hillel omrim Besamim ve'achar kach Ma'or, and Beis Hillel say that Besamim come first and then comes Ma'or. So therefore, it would come out according to this that everybody agrees that mazon comes first, and there is actually a machlokas about besamim and moor coming in terms of second. V'yamar Rabbi Yochanan says, Nago ha'am kebeis Hillel ali b'de Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yochanan says that the people are noeg like Beis Hillel according to Rabbi Yehuda. So according to this opinion, it's going to come out again that everyone's going to agree mazon is first, and then Beis Hillel will say besamim, then moor, and then you will make havdalah. Okay, the Gemara now continues with another machlokas that was mentioned in the Mishnah between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel about the text of Borei Ma'orei Ha'esh or Bara Ma'or Ha'esh. Beis Shammai Amram Shabara v'chulu. Amar Rav says, B'bara kuli amalo pligi debara mashma. This machlokas Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel, everybody agrees bara could work because it means in the past he created, in the Sheishus Mei Berachos, he created fire. Ki pligi b'borei. They're arguing about the text of Borei, is that good as well? Beis Shammai Savri, Borei da'asid lemivra. Beis Shammai hold that the word borei implies in the future will be created, so it wouldn't work. Beis Hillel savri borei nami debara mashma. Beis Hillel hold no, borei could also imply in past tense, and therefore borei is also appropriate for the text. Meisa Rav Yosef asks on this explanation of Rava, yotzer or vorei choshech, yotzer harim uborei ruach, borei hashamayim v'notem. All these things are talking about things that were created in the Sheishus Yimei Berachos, and so they all mean past tense. So you see that everybody should agree that borei means past tense. Elamar of Yosef, rather of Yosef says, "B'bara borei kol yalma lo pligi." When it comes to the words bara, borei, everybody agrees the bara mashma can mean past tense. Nobody says that it'd be problematic either way. They're both good. Ki pligi b'maor u'maorei. The real machlokas Beis Shammai Beis Hillel is about whether a person should say maor or maorei. The Beis Shammai savri chad nehora ika benura. Beis Shammai hold that in a candle there's one light, so to speak. There are many lights that come out of a candle. Tanya Namiach, we learned in a brayso like this as well. Amru lahem Beis Hillel Beis Shammai. Beis Hillel said to Beis Shammai, harbe ma'oros yesh bor. There are many lights that come out of a candle, out of a light, and therefore you should say me'orei. Gemara now continues with the two dots. Ein mevarchin. It said in the Mishnah you don't make a bracha on a candle that comes from a ovdei kochavim, an idol worshiper, and then we'll see other cases here also as well. You don't make on candles that are used for a mace or for avodah zarah. So the Gemara tries to understand the reasoning behind these halachas. Bishlam aner. I understand a candle. And it said not only by candle, it also said by besamim. So the Gemara says, Bishlam aner. I understand why you can't use a candle that was used by an ovdei kochavim, by an idol worshiper, mishum de lo shavas, because that flame did not rest. Rashi explains what that means. Mishum de lo shavas, so mimeleches avera. A candle that was used over Shabbos by a non-Jew, it was used for Meleches Avera, for work that was a transgression on Shabbos. She'ovid kochavim osa malacha oro. The non-Jew was doing malacha on Shabbos to that light. Betanya, come on, we're going to learn in a brayso later on, or shalosh shavas, if you have a light that did not rest on Shabbos, ein mevarchin alav. You shouldn't use that for your bracha after Shabbos for Havdalah, hoel v'nevda bo Avera, because an Avera was done. So it makes sense, a candle from an ovdei kochavim, why you can't use it. Ella besamim my time alone, but when it comes to besamim, we don't understand the reason. Amar Rav Yehuda, Rav Yehuda says in the name of Rav, hacha b'mesibas ovdei kochavim askinan. When it says you can't use besamim of an ovdei kochavim, we're talking about the besamim was used at a banquet of an ovdei kochavim. V'nei shestam mesibas ovdei kochavim la'avodah zarah. General, those situations, the idol worshiper is using it for avodah zarah. So really, it's talking about besamim of avodah zarah. So the Gemara says, "Hamidiktani seifa ein mevarchin lo ala ner v'lo ala b'sam shel avodah zarah." 1 second. The end of the Mishnah says you can't use ner or b'sam of avodah zarah. That's your avodah zarah case. Mechlal dereisha lab avodah zarah askin, and that seems to imply that the reisha of the Mishnah is talking about an ovdei kochavim, but not necessarily avodah zarah. The Gemara answers, "Amar Reb Chanina misura." So Reb Chanina from Surah answers, "Matam kamer." The Mishnah really is giving the reason. It's all one thing. It's not two separate cases. Matam ein mevarchin lo ala ner v'lo ala b'sam shel akum. Why can we not make a bracha on the candle or the besamim of an idol worshiper? Because in general we can assume that it was used in the mesiba of an idol worshiper for avodah zarah. Gemara now brings a brayso. Taner Rabban, we learned in a brayso, or shavas mevarchin alav, v'shalosh shavas ein mevarchin alav. If you have a light which rested, so you can make such a bracha, you can make a bracha on that, but you cannot make a bracha on a light which did not rest. This is the brayso that Rashi was referring to. So the Gemara asks, my shavas and my lo shavas. What do you mean rested? What do you mean not rested? And the Gemara will continue this discussion on the tab of Daf Nun Gimel Amud Aleph.